Welcome all. Okay, the camera was doing like all types of shaky wakey things. We are here on a Saturday night. Why do I have this much energy on a Saturday night? It is only for you guys. Trust and believe. Your girl is 40, and on a Saturday night, I'm a little bit of snuggle wuggle by now. Okay, I'm a little bit cozy. All right. People might not let me sleep, but I'm definitely getting cozied up. So thank you for having a Saturday night moment with me. I think this is the first one we've ever had in almost 5 years of moments. The first Saturday night. So, okay, let's get it in. It should be, we need music, we need all the spectacles for a Saturday night. But we just have ourselves. That's totally fine. We just need to get a moment this weekend. If you follow me on the social media platforms of Facebook and Instagram, you were notified that we would have a Saturday night moment because Saturday morning wasn't happening, Sunday morning wasn't going to happen due to spring break and a plethora of activities for my little people during their spring break vacay. So I was like, look, I'm not going to miss this moment. What can I do about it? So we're gonna have a Saturday night. Just like I advertised. I know for me, I am big on nighttime routines. I'm big on morning routines. So if you do your whole regimen, you know what I'm saying. You're moisturizing, you're stretching, you're listening to your good stuff, you're putting on your good feels, you're getting clean, whatever. Go ahead and throw a moment in there. We just sliding a moment. It won't be long because it's late. Okay, it won't be long, but it will be meaningful and impactful. Um, Willing, right? Creator willing, we'll be blessed with a moment that we need just in time, right? So welcome, welcome, welcome to a Saturday night moment of harmony. Now, if you are here with me live and you will be joining the chat, it's Saturday night. If you watch me on the playback and you just do that anyway, you wait for going to work, you listen to me while you're at work, you wait until Monday night when you're cooking dinner and you watch Moment, then you don't care when I came on this weekend. And I love you anyway. Okay? But if you are here live with me, let's have a Saturday night party, a jamboree, why not? You know what I'm saying? We are coming up on the end. Peace and welcome. We are coming up on the end of a mini series, Springing Forward. We started this at the beginning of March, and now we are ending it at the beginning of April. We're doing another mini series. We are showering ourselves in the next mini series. We'll start that next week. Okay, next week we'll have 4 weeks of showering ourselves. We're always talking about peace and welcome. Thank you so much. We're always talking about self care. We're talking about realigning ourselves and tuning into self. It sounds all fancy. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to go into really looking at tools, at what it looks like to really shower ourselves with affection, protection, access. Like, we're going to do it, okay? We're getting into that starting next week. And today we are finishing up Peace. Hi, hey, Poland in the house. Look at the moment, universal moment. I love it. Um, we are finishing up our springing forward. We did moments, emotions in February. March, we sprung forward. April, we're going into showering ourselves. Okay. So once we got rid of some stagnation, we got some momentum. We accelerated ourselves, and now we're going to take really good care of all the work we've been doing. There's been a lot going on. Astrologically, seasonally, or universally, April is seen as the new year. It's seen as springtime, is seen as the beginning of the year, rebirth, all things coming to life, all things becoming vibrant and in fruition. And that brings all types of new energies with it. So I'm so happy that we're taking time out, sleepy as we may be. Okay, some of us old folk. Um, Taking the time out to really get a new moment in. So, closing out, springing forward, we are in the session of becoming. I am so excited to talk about that because it is something mentioned over and over in light work, self care, health work. It is Allow yourself to become. I want to talk about it today. I want to get some practical tools for embracing the becoming of yourself. I want to look at some of the barriers so that we more readily identify them and work with them in ways that help us actually embrace becoming, because it is far from rainbows and butterflies. Okay, becoming is a process. Speaking of butterflies, right? Speaking of labor and delivery, speaking of plants growing out of the ground, becoming is a process, and it is not the way it always sounds. And I want us to see it accurately, embrace it fully, and be able to actualize it in ways that serve us. Okay, we're getting into that today. Today's episode on becoming is entitled Born to Become. Born to become. We're not fighting it. We're not being distracted from it. We're not avoiding it. We are embracing. We, we're coming out here saying we want more. We need more from ourselves. We want a life that we love. We want to embrace life in holistic ways. But once the process starts, some things start to change about the way we want to do this. And I don't want us to do that anymore. I want us to be able to sit in the thick of becoming and embrace it and be able to fully blossom through pain, through the trauma, through the patterns, through the upheavals, and still have the audacity with your divine self to become. We're doing that today. So, Born to Become is today's episodes. Of course, I have birthday shout outs. Y'all know I'm never going to do a moment without giving love. I love that you exist. I love that we're existing at the same time together. I love that you're here and that you so amazingly are breathing and living every day. So, I'm going to give some birthday shout outs. Super duper happy birthday shout out to my niece Ming. Happy birthday, Miyoki Lee. Her birthday is actually Monday, but the next time you see me, she would have turned 3. And we went to her birthday party today. So happy birthday, Ming Ming Ming. Um, I know there was like some April Fool's birthdays. I saw a lot of that. Happy birthday to everyone there. Happy birthday to my Uncle Junie. Um, Listen, Aries season, it's getting hot in here. Fire signs have arrived for spring. I love you all so much, and please enjoy your trip around the sun. Okay, take really good care of yourself. Calm down a little bit. Use your passion for your art and things. You got this. Happy birthday to all of my. I'm trying to think, make sure I'm not missing any beginning of the week. Oh, Saya, happy birthday! Boom, you're on the 6-2, and I think that's everybody for right now. Happy birthday. Okay, happy birthday, guys. Happy birthday and love and light to everyone, because I know there are others celebrating holiday weekend. Love and light to you. Let's get into it. Born to become. Okay, born to become. Now, I've entitled this Born to Become because I feel like this society has a way of pushing us away from the process of becoming. Again, painting this pretty picture of what it would look like when you're growing, what it looks like when you arrive, what your life should feel like when you begin to make changes and shifts to it. And if it doesn't look that way, you should abort, 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 right? Anybody that's done a lifestyle change, a detox, um, a diet change, I started a new exercise regimen. You know that when you start to do great things for yourself, when you start to reconstruct and rebuild yourself, you can go through some of the toughest phases before you arrive at your desired results. Again, this is a society that teaches and pushes complacency and comfort and luxury and indulgence, which is quite the opposite sometimes of the process of becoming. So, a lot of times we'll start to feel like, well, I don't want to become if it requires this. I don't want to be better if it requires this. And we may not really say that out loud, but subconsciously we really begin to suffer. Sometimes we begin to suffer in the process of becoming and decide that the suffering is heavier than not becoming. And I want us to be able to see that differently. Whatever it takes to become the best version of you, whatever it takes to obtain your biggest, greatest desires of your heart, your mission, to fulfill your purpose, whatever it takes. I want us to really be able to walk away from our moment today with a whatever it takes mindset. Now, we're coming up this week, like I said, new beginnings, spring coming in, weather changing. April is a little bit crazy. I mean, the vibes, the energy is heavy. This whole rebirth energy, this shaking up, this recreation energy, it is a lot. It is a lot, but it is all preparing us, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're navigating, it is all preparing us to be able to fully embrace new processes. It is saying if this is hard on you and you want to give up, if these changes, right, this instability to your money or the instability to your relationships, these changes career wise in the workplace environment, some difficulties you may be experiencing at home or with your children or your family members, if this is coming in at the beginning of this season, again, it is because you are rebirth. And we always talk about this: darkest before dawn, labor and delivery. This is my doula talk. Most pain a woman experiences in labor and delivery is literally right before the baby breaks through her body, right before the breakthrough. They call it the ring of fire. The most. So please keep in mind that if you came into this season and things are just starting to look a little bit like what just happened, right? Which one of y'all kicked me, right? Um, Understand that you are coming into a rebirth, and the becoming process has to be phased just like every other process that we experience. So, born to become. Let's get into it, right? The first part of born to become is when I say that we are born to become, we do not come here to, and we'll get into this more later because I really want to be clear. I don't want anyone to feel offended or triggered or attacked, right? In all love, in all hope of us growing and healing and just breaking through. Tired. We're tired of the, you're right, we're tired of the pressure. We're tired of the suffocation. We're tired of the suffering. And I want us to breathe freely, completely, lovingly about our own lives, about our own existence. So, um, when I say that we are born to become, I mean that there is evolutionary process. I'm sorry if that's so loud. There is an evolutionary process when it comes to growth with everything, right? The seasons, the grass, animals, human beings, nothing just comes out as it is supposed to. Everything goes through, well, especially mammals, they go through like milking. Everything goes through like a evolutionary process, a growing process. Uh, what is it? Giraffes, they come out, their legs are all wobbly. Elephants come out. Everything comes out. Everything comes about in the natural element with the need to grow into instincts or grow further into instincts, grow into culture, grow into habitat, grow into survival, right? Everything comes in, starts as a seed, then it's a bulb, then it's a stem, every single thing in life, right? The life process. Nothing ever just comes out and is. Um, and that speaks to nature and the innate divine inclination to evolve. And no matter what that process is, right? We go through puberty, and that starts to look all strange, right? The zits or the acne and the hormones, and but it is all taken us to, you know, um, other versions of ourselves. We go through as women. Whew, We go through process after process after process, okay? We are just born and we're just metamorphosing, we're morphing throughout all of existence, forever and ever, apparently. We're just like morphing and reconstructing, and our bodies are relearning and taking in something new and doing something new, and we are constantly becoming different versions of ourselves. Ciao. This again points to and speaks to this innate divine necessity in life and evolution of evolving, of becoming. Now, if we take that, which nature shows us all the time about growth. Nature shows us things that weren't become something and how they have all of these processes of becoming all the time. But then think about us in society, in life. You are supposed to be an adult when you're 18, even though biologically we've been able to scientifically prove you are not fully developed. But we're talking about capitalism, we're talking about consumerism, we're talking about production, okay? You can now be considered an adult. You can now be a part of the rat race. You can now pay taxes. You can now uh, go from little purchases like bus passes to big purchases like cars. Okay, right? So you're an adult. Um, and then when you become an adult, you've arrived at this ability to make decisions and choices for yourself. And you're so excited about it until you realize that the decisions and choices that you have to make for yourself are really aren't choices at all, right? There are no choices when it comes to taxes. You don't have choices on whether or not you're going to work or not. You don't have choices on whether or not, right? All of these like semantics, right? All of these games of structural oppression that make us feel like you have arrived, and now the goal at arrival is to survive. That's how you become a great adult. That's how you become a responsible adult. That's how you become a model, stand up, law abiding citizen in this structural component of life is to arrive and survive. Arrive and survive. Oh, 18, 21. Here's your survival gear, right? Job, life, kids, work, family, figure it out. Um, none of that, none of this structure points to us evolving. None of that cookie cutter or the way, you hear all the time like go to school, get a good job, marry a nice person, create a family, and good for you. We hear all the time celebrities. I know I read Jada Pinkett's book, Worthy, and a number of other books. I've read on so many different biographies, autobiographies of celebrities that were miserable when they made all the money. They married the richest, most beautiful, or most handsome person, and they had the all of the things, and still were miserable or suicidal or lost, addicted, all of these things. Because again, this model structure of arriving and surviving lacks evolution, which is a mandatory spiritual component. How do we know that, Harmony? Why are you saying this is a mandatory spiritual component, constant evolution? We look at nature. We cut grass and grass grows. We look at trees, we look at plants, we look at bees, we look at animals. We look at the moon and the sun, and we look at the sciences and the structures and the ins and out of existence, and all things evolve. All things evolve that thrive and that we sustain on evolve. We have to like everything that we grow. If you're a vegan or vegetarian, we grow our fruits and vegetables. Evolutionary process. If you are a omnivore, carnivore, you eat animals, they have to grow too, right? Everything it shows us that the evolutionary process is a necessity. And then we add on that the spiritual component. You were born to become. You were not born to be rich, and nothing is wrong with wealth or prosperity as long as you are in Maya. You are in balance with inner wealth and um, what is it, appreciation for life, right? But you weren't born, right, to die. You weren't born to fight. All of these things are survival techniques and mechanisms that are great, right, to have, but they are not the purpose of your existence. Is that's what I'm saying. You came here, and in order to reach the highest supreme level of self, Anthony Hamilton, point of it all, um, to reach your divine, you came here in reflection of divinity to reach your highest level of self spiritually, and you have all these humanistic or all of these obstacles of humanity that spiritually condition and grow you. Shout out to KC. In order for you to become the highest functioning level of spiritual beingness in this very complicated human experience. It's set up that way. And then once you get to your highest level of being, you are now prepared for ancestral realms of actualization. But here, the purpose wasn't, right? You were not born to make things work. And what I mean by make it work, I mean in the thugging and uh, scratching and surviving and keeping your head above water type of thing. You did not just come here to be. You didn't come here to exist. You didn't come here to clock in and clock out. You didn't come here to fight all your life. You had to fight. You came here. All of these things, again, constructually are part of the conditioning of your soul and spirit. They're a part of it. They're not the main goal. But you were born to become your highest zenith. What do they call it? The zenith level of existing spiritually. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. Shout out to Professor Griff. And as a spiritual being having a human experience, you were born to become bigger than the human experience in order to graduate and grow through the human experience. Peace, my love. Hotep, welcome, King. So blessed to see you here. So born to become. Now, you were born to become. We've established that part of it. If you are born to become, why is that so hard for us to obtain? Why does that become such a massive barrier in the human experience? The spiritual being having a human experience. Why does that become such a human barrier? A lot of times we are afraid of what we are becoming, or we resent the process of becoming. And therefore becoming does not become a primary goal and focus for us. Um, a lot of us will say, I want to be a better person. I want to be a healthier person. I want to be a better mom. I want to be a better partner. Um, I want to be a greater husband. I want to be what is it? A master of craft, whatever your craft is. We will say these things, right? But then in becoming that, you're going to get purged of everything that exists within you that is not like that, right? So, any patterns, any traumas, any generational curses that are not like what you are saying. I want to be a better mate, a better wife or husband. You're going to get purged of some ways this life in order to become that. This life is going to test patience because that's a part of being a better person, parent, spouse. You're going to get tested, and grow very uncomfortably in being more honest or more straightforward, more resourceful. All of these things that come for whatever you're asking to become. Okay, so we'll say, I want to be. This is, again, why I think things like marriage, at least the way they are conducted and moved up, conducted and actualized in this society, right? The way that they are done structurally, in this type of a climate, I think they fail because we say, till death do us part, for a better or for worse. We say, I want to become. I love you so much right now that I want to become all you need me to be over this expansion of a lifetime. And then as life begins to prepare us for that, we're like, this is not what I signed up for. And it is. Now, sidebar, abuse and substance abuse, like danger of life, nothing like that, right? But I'm talking about the contorting, right? The changing, the this becoming process of being patient, of being selfless, of being cohesive. The Oh my goodness, okay? I feel like I've been single for so long that when you think about the cohesive process, it can start making you sweat, right? Whether it's you being used to sleeping calmly and quietly at the desired temperature and the desired noise level, and then now you have to build with someone else who have different desires of noise levels and temperatures, and this is a small kind of funny comparison, but in real life we begin to become what we're asking to become. We begin to become what we're seeking to become: more noble, more upstanding, more diverse, more stretched, more versatile, stronger. I can't tell you how many times in all the work that I do, with healing sessions and women work, that one of the number one things I hear from people all the time is, I want to be stronger. I want life to not be so heavy. I want to endure life more. I don't want to be so shaken and crumbling, and then when life comes, and it comes, when life shows up to make you stronger, abort mission. I don't want this anymore. I don't want to pursue this. I don't want to become this. I don't want to. And the process is what you are the becoming is the part that you're afraid of, because you'll say, I want to be more honest. The source energy is going to put you in, is going to structure that for who you're intended to be. Nobody became a master, a guru, an elder by just reading a lot of good books, eating really good, and arriving. It came with sacrifice. It came with loss. It came with growth. It came with extensive development and consistent evolution. Remember, I said that's a spiritual necessity. A spiritual necessity, consistent evolution. But we're afraid. What is this feeling? Oh, I want to be in love. I want to be with someone. I want to love someone. And then you get into it and it starts to change you. And it starts to shift you. And it starts to pull at you. And it starts to move you, right? And you say, what, I don't like the way that this feels. I don't like that I have to go into my childhood traumas. I don't like that I have to deal with myself. I don't like that I have to face the examples of my childhood. All of that, all of that, you are afraid of what you are becoming. You'll say, what is happening to me? What is happening to me? I'm going after this higher education. I'm going after this next level or standard for relating to others, complementaryship, leadership, work, um, you know, endeavors, career endeavors. I'm going after this thing, and all of a sudden I'm being tested. All of a sudden I'm being stressed. All of a sudden I'm being pulled apart. All of a sudden it feels like I'm being dissected for, am I who I say I want to be? Am I prepared for the journey that I'm embarking on? Do I really want what I said I want? It comes and we're afraid. It comes and we sabotage. It comes and we run, we avoid, we push away, we deny, we destroy. And it's not because we are crazy. It is because, again, we are taught in this societal structure that being an adult is arriving at adult age, legal adult age, and surviving. But the evolutionary process is not one, unless you're going through rites of passages, unless you're taking um, these types of responsibilities within self. You've been able to have those processes explained to you or offered to you. You do not necessarily have or know all of the process of becoming. You live in a society that taught you already are. You turned 18, you turned 21, you are. You got married, you had a kid, you're a great parent. You're a husband or a wife because you signed these papers, you paid off these fees, and now you have arrived. And now you must survive. Not evolution. That's not evolution based ideology at all. Every single thing that we attach ourselves to, every single thing that we grow ourselves through requires development and process. And none of that is easy. None of it is easy. Processing, developing, growing. Think about being a child and all the great. Thank you so much. Think about being a child and growing up as a child. How much you didn't know. How the least amount of control you had over anything. How much you had to learn. And then you just went through puberty, you reached a certain age legally, and you got it all. It all made sense overnight. 18th birthday, figured it out. No, that is not spiritually even accurate. That is not the evolutionary process that nature shows us all the time is absolutely necessary for development, growth, and becoming. So, us being afraid, I want to be, I can't tell you how many times I look at my life personally. And I feel sometimes when I am around Mommy Mercy, when I'm around other people or I'm with the sisters, and I feel like my process, peace, beautiful, and welcome. I feel like my process is like, you know what they say, to whom much is given, much is expected. And there are times that I'm like, I feel like the things I deal with are nowhere near when I hear people talking about like their biggest problem, their biggest issue, right? Sometimes I'm just like the things that I'm really living with, right? But it makes me again takes me back to born to be. You have to become. There is no way that you think that you are going to show, express, convey, or be anything extraordinary without an extraordinary process, without extraordinary requirements, restructuring, constructuring, rebirthing. The more that is, the more you are becoming. This is really what I wanted you guys to make sure because that you're holding in your heart from this moment. Because again, we talk about becoming, just like we talk about self-care, we talk about evolution, and it's all like, oh, I'm becoming her, and I'm becoming him, and I'm healing my wounds, and I'm walking through my trauma. It is a battle. You on the battlefield is what you're telling me. Um, and when it starts to look like that, many of us will be like, "Oh, I don't think this is my process. I don't know." So many times during healing sessions, why me? Why is this happening to me? Every time I turn around, you're becoming, my love. You are becoming. You are becoming faithful. You are becoming resilient if you choose to understand it and shift your perspective accordingly. You won't be shocked when the challenges come your way, when the conditioning is doing what it's supposed to be doing. You will sit and say, this is a part of my becoming. What am I at? What is being asked of me right now? Resourcefulness, diligence, gratitude. Um, um, what's a big one for me recently? Discernment. Okay, a lot of these faithfulness. What is being asked of me, because it looks like I'm being crushed. It feels like I'm being forgotten. It moves me like I'm being drowned and suffocated. But I know enough to know that I am becoming. This is my rebirthing process. This is me breaking out of the cocoon, coming through the birth canal, and I can't see. It's dark. It's painful. It's scary. It's restricting. Again, I'm in a whole nother cycle. Again, I just went through last year, last season. I went through a level of growth and development. And again, because you are becoming. And a lot of times we ask, we receive, we retreat. You want to be the best version of yourself, you're going to have to shed a lot of old versions. You want to be the stand up, noble, respectable example that you never saw, there's going to be a lot of constructing that goes on with you. There's going to be a lot of building and rebuilding. There's going to be some trial and error. You asked, you received, and then we retreat. Don't retreat on your becoming. You are becoming. And you were born to become. You were not born. What I always say? What is the saying that I love? I can't even think of where it came from. We're not humans being. We are humans. Oh no, we're not humans doing. We're humans being. In a society of consumerism that teaches to do. But to be is its own process. It's not a little process. It's not slight work. It is spiritual. It is intense. It is consistent. And it is real. And it gets you where you were intended to be. Where you were born and designed and missioned to be. And that process, that's a whole different process than what's sold to us of be an upstanding citizen, abide by the law, go to college, meet somebody decent, marry them and have kids, and voila. That does not at all entail a spiritual rights. This life that we are living, these conflicts, thank you, darling, thank you, Ashe. This life that we are living, these cycles that we are breaking, these patterns that we are navigating, crushing, demolishing, these dreams that we are chasing, okay? Um, this is a spiritual right, evolutionary process of becoming. I know when we say we want to be a wellness practitioner, do you know how much illness you have to conquer and study and understand? Do you know how much chaos you have to combat to become peace? Do you know what you have to break through to be who you're actually becoming? The breakthrough is what you're afraid of. The breakthrough is what you resent. You want happily ever after without the process. You want to arrive at the mountaintop without the climb, without the hardship. And again, thank you all so much. Thank you. The chat is chatting. You guys are so beautiful. Thank you for your greatness. Thank you for your love. I'm so appreciative. You want to get where you are going. And there's a society that tells you that you can buy your way there, that you can credential your way there, that you can influence your way there, schmooze your way there, manipulate your way there. That's not how spirituality works. You might can buy your way to the top in capitalism. Oh, but you're going to grow your way to the top spiritually. I guarantee it. Right? I promise you that. There is no shortcut to becoming. And every time you start to become, my children have taught me. Anytime someone says I'm a great mother, or anyone says like you know, the way you parent or the you thug this thing out, I did not just wake up this type of mother. I became this mother through the rites of raising these people. My endurance, my tenacity, my stability, my fight, my hustle, okay? My love, my nurturing, my patience, my kindness, my compassion, my commitment, my dedication. It came through processing. It starts with carrying a child inside your body. Nothing makes you more patient, okay, than 10 months of growing a human being, let alone 5 of them, okay? Patience. It grew as I grew, literally. You know what I'm saying? Sacrifice, the ability to, the endurance, the stamina to. It grew as I grew. I This life process is a process of becoming. Don't say I want to be better. And then when universally, spiritually, people start getting removed that are going to block your better, now you don't want better. Visions and ideas and desires start to subside that are going to block your better, and you're getting scared and shook. I used to want, I used to be attracted to, I used to like. You are becoming what you asked to become. You are different. You are changed. You are evolving. Don't be afraid, and do not resent the process of becoming. You were born to become. Yes, I know it's hard. Because there are so many times when I'm looking at source, I'm looking at the creator like, you got some big things in store. You must have some big things in store for me, because look at the course you put me through. Look at my camp, my boot camp. Look at my training ground. I'm looking at my training ground like, oh, so you want big things. Yes. Becoming. I know, again, we ask, we receive, and then we retreat. We must do all that we can to avoid the retreating part of the process of becoming. When it gets sticky, when it gets lonely, when it gets scary, when it gets dry, when it gets painful, when it gets lonely, when it gets frustrating, you are becoming better. So, the next part, so that part is us being afraid of what we ask for, wanting to be better, and then when we get sent relationships that are lessons, they're not forever, right? We're just getting sent lessons, not love per se. We start to be like, oh no, no more lessons. You're growing. No more lessons, okay? When we say we want, again, all of the things to be stronger, to be smarter, to be more patient, to be more humble, okay? Have you ever asked for humility? Woo! The way that thing comes, okay? But do not, you asked because you said you want to be the best. You said you want to be greater. You said you want to fulfill spiritual desires more than worldly desires, deeper desires within self. You're going to become, and it's going to feel like something. And I want you to be able to embrace it. Because what happens on the other side is that you wake up and you're her. You wake up, and I don't want to say wake up one day. I'm just saying you slow down enough at some point and realize I'm her who little Harmony dreamed about. I'm her. I'm everything I needed when I was a child for me to become. I became. I everything that I had in my mind about what was needed in this life for me. I I became. I am becoming. Right? So I'm not at all getting to the point where it's like I'm afraid. Go on and buckle down when it gets hard. Go ahead and talk to self and say, okay, more conditioning, another course, another class, another training. How many trainings y'all do at work? I know when when I was with the state, we were training after training after training after training, and you sitting there like, I got it. You know why they keep training you? Because the workload, the policies, everything changes. And so you keep going through all of them trainings because things are continuously evolving. Processes, technology, administration, leadership, they're changing. And you must change with it. It's the same thing with us in spiritual work. We are evolving, and your training will reflect that. Yes, you went through something last week, last month, excuse me, last quarter, new training. Okay, so don't be afraid, don't resent the process, become. One of the other reasons that us being born to become gets blocked in this life way of doing things is because we have become accustomed sorry we have become accustomed to behaving instead of becoming, right? um and a lot of us, that starts to weigh us down. Stress, depression, anxiety, imposter syndrome. um it starts to weigh us down because we behave as if we are who we want to be, and we haven't actually become that yet. And I'm not talking about the fake it till you make it or manifesting. That's one whole thing, right? That's a whole nother, like, looking the part, letting life catch up with my goals and standards. That's one side of it. What I'm talking about is genuinely feeling like you've done enough work. You don't have anything else that's needed. You're no longer seeking, searching, evolving. You slow down on your reading or your writing or your working out or your watching your consumption. You've eased up on who's around you, your routines, your dedication to self, and you feel like I'm that person that I wanted to be because I did those things in the past. Or sometimes I do those things. So I'll wear the hat. I'll behave as the master of my craft. I'll behave as a leader or a respectable member of my community. I'll behave like a knowing, um, emotionally intelligent spouse, a dedicated, connected spouse, even though I stopped doing the work of dedication and connection a long time ago. I'm behaving as such instead of becoming. And that begins to slow us down on that becoming process. And it begins to turn us away. We start to say, I'm doing all I can do. I've done the best that I can. And I'm still not, right? I'm still not at peace. I'm still not happy. I'm still not content or fulfilled. I still don't have a relationship with source energy. I still don't have rituals or practice. Like, none of it makes sense to me, but I'm here. I know I'm the best parent. I know I am the best employee or entrepreneur. I know I am the best. And it is because you are behaving as such. You're feeding people, you're paying bills, You're showing up to services or lectures or workshops, right? You're taking classes or courses. You're doing the behaviors. Now, what's understood don't need no explaining. When you are becoming, there is no, well, I don't feel these things about any, I don't feel, as you're becoming, I don't feel a desire to shift my routines, my lifestyle, my diet. I don't feel the desire to be amongst company of growth and evolution. I don't feel the desire to journal or whatever your growth process is, right? Whenever I'm seeing someone that's constantly involved in their desires and their dreams, like they're always doing things that mean a lot to them or in alignment with their purpose, I know that this is a person becoming, right? All the time I see parents where their children are accessories, right? They are parents, they're commercial parents. It's like I pick them up, I drop them off, I dress them, I feed them, we go to the playground. But being a parent, becoming involved, becoming necessary in someone's process of becoming changes you in a way. It's not the one, two, three, four, five. You see the seeking. You see the practices. You see the development. We were doing this. I was doing this. This wasn't working. I'm doing this different. Their conversation, the way they show up, your energy speaks in a becoming way. So, when it comes to behaving versus becoming, a lot of times people are existing. So many times you were born to become. You were never created for the 24 hours in a day to just go into the next one and go into the next one and go into the next one. And then you have these bills you pay at this time, and you have these things you do on these days. And that was never, that's not spiritual conditioning. Spiritual conditioning is absolutely a regular, constant, and consistent process of evolving, nurturing, caring for yourself through those evolutions, and consistently reaching different levels of self, of understanding. I mean, daily downloads of life, of you, of who you are, of what you think, of what you're becoming. Peace and welcome. Peace, peace, peace. Hi. Um, so if you are in a process, and we're gonna get ready to get out of here in a minute. If you are in a process where you feel like I'm doing all the things, I wear all natural clothing, or I'm reading this book, I want you to definitely check on yourself spiritually. I want you to check on your reality. It reflects your growth and your becoming. The people and how they resonate with you, whether it is loved ones, co-workers, associates, or just people you cross paths with, children and animals. These things, how things resonate with you this year as opposed to last year, what people bring to you and bring around you, what types of conversations and energies come your way, what you tolerate and no longer have a patience for, what you have a desire for, what you're drawn to. These things let us know if we're behaving or becoming, if we're following a script that we've seen on movies or relationships and people's behaviors modeled before us. um, I feel like my parents' marriage was successful because they stayed married for 60 years. And so you model that. You model, you take the good with the bad, and then you model it and you say that you have become happily married or happily connected or happily living? Are you behaving happily married? Are you behaving appropriately or righteously active or actualized? That's what I'll say. Righteously actualized. Are you behaving as such? Because you don't smoke, you don't cheat, you don't hit women, or you don't what is it? Club. You don't lie, and so you're behaving as a righteous being of love and light. Who are you being? Have you become? Is it not work to be honest? Is it not work to show up? Is it not laborious to keep your routines that save your life, that keep you strong and empowered? See, behavior is something that can come subconscious, autopilot. You can even stop thinking about all the things you're doing. Peace, bless, love, and light to you. You can stop thinking and be doing. When you are, though, when you are, it is not out of habitual ritual, um, because I do this every day. I do this every day. Spiritual becoming will shift. It will change. What is my spirit calling for me today? What is this year, this season, this week? Especially with us ladies, we're moving on a moon phase. Are you behaving? Are you becoming? Behaving will sink a spiritual ship. I get my words out. Behaving will behaving will sink a spiritual ship every time. Acting like you're okay, acting like you're happy, acting like you are growing, acting like you are succeeding, acting like you're happy, acting like your needs are being met, acting like you're being valued, acting like you're validated. It will sink you every time. So this is not and spiritually we require more. Spiritual evolution requires more. Okay, we're going long. We're getting ready to get up out of this. Thank y'all for joining me on the set. We Saturday night. Ooh, ooh, it's Saturday night. Okay, we on a Saturday night, and I'm so excited that we've been able to pull it off. So to finalize this last part, we are going to. We went through. Don't be afraid. Don't resent your process. Don't be afraid of what you are becoming. Don't be resentful of your process. Becoming is just that. Okay. The second thing is the last thing, I'm sorry. You were born to become. Okay, now we're gonna close it out with this. But I wanna make sure that we drive this part home because we're going into a new mini series next week, right? So this whole springing forward, this is the last episode of that. So I wanna make sure that we got it, right? We got it good. Okay. You were born to become. This is today's episode, Born to Become. That means that you are not born to be numb. You're not born to be in pain. You're not born to be unhealthy. You're not born to suffer. You're not you're not born to be desperate. You're not born to beg for love, health, wellness, provision. You were born to become. When things come through your life that put you in positions that make you feel like you're lacking, when you get into life and there are circumstances that make you feel like you're missing, you are without, these things are to highlight areas in our life that need focus and are becoming, because the validation, the love, the prosperity, the health, it's all available to us, right? It's all waiting for us. We didn't come here to suffer. We never came here to suffer, okay? It's all available to us. When we get to the space and place of everything being available to us that we need. However, we're living a life that lacks those things. This is where we get to say, am I becoming? And I was born to become. What we're on that journey to figure it out. For myself, a healer, an educator, wellness practitioner, a love and a light on this side of things and the next. Okay? When you find out and figure out, and as you're going through your journey of what you are becoming, and that thing changes time after time. What are you becoming in this season? What are you becoming with this person? What are you becoming in this decade of your life? Right? Break that down. It breaks down all the way down. As you are looking more and more and more into what are you becoming, one of the major ways I want you to be able to look at, am I honoring my becoming process, is if you are just completely unhappy, if nothing that you even used to love is even making you happy anymore, if you don't feel like you're growing, if you don't feel like you're being fulfilled, you're losing your motivation, your stimulation. You are a human living being. You should be constantly stimulated by life. And I don't mean like the overstimulation that is desensitization or numbing or the control of like devices and technology. I mean stimulated to do, sti- stimulated to be, create, improve, what is it? Innovate, those types of stimulations. So those are my people out here that are peace and welcome. Those are the people out here that are my artists that are constantly creating music, teachers that are constantly creating new pathways for people, people that are just going out here and making this life better the way we were intended. I would dare to say that as you are becoming, you are embracing all the levels of yourself. And when you're starting to feel like this is not what I wanted it to look like, this is not what I need, it's highlighting for me an area that needs my focus and my becoming. So you on this next level, and if you could look at this thing, if you could pay attention to what's being spoken to you spiritually, if you could shut down access where there's damage and harm, if you can offer and consume to yourself in your life more of what feeds you and grows you, these are why you start to feel the deficits. These are why you start to feel depleted. These are why you start to feel um, lackluster spiritually. It, as you are becoming, even through trial and triumph, or trial and tragedy, as you are becoming, there is a stimulation to spirit of your spirit that never phases or never ceases. That's what I'll say. When I hear people say, I don't feel anything anymore. I don't really want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. Everything makes me sad, or the only thing I desire are low vibrational things. Things that make me not think, things that make me not feel. There is a becoming process for you that you are asking, receiving, and retreating from. You're asking for more. It's not, when it comes, you sabotage it. You're asking for better. When it comes, you're afraid of it. You're afraid to grow to the challenge. You're afraid to uh, become. You're afraid to become. Telling the hard truths to yourselves and others, creating the routines that work best for you, resisting the things that are destroying you, standing in your maturity and your growth, not leaning on the things in life that are not spiritually positive. You cannot live a purely physical experience, doing only the things that make you physically happy, and then wonder why you are spiritually sick, why you aren't spiritually well, why you have a life full of things, stuff, things to do lists, and all types of things, but you are yourself ready to implode. It is because you were born to become. You were not born, like I said, to turn 18 and arrive. and survive. The becoming process never stops. My grandmother is in October, she'll be 89 years old. I'm always seeing outsider looking in. Now, how she feels about it, but I watch her change. The way she talks to people, things that she used to do to us or do for us, that now that she has great great grandchildren, changing things with them, become it. And you know how she, a lot of that becoming, losing people, that changes so much about how we become. Um, Life changing around us, the way we look, the way we feel, all of the things. The transitions are changing us. And then the changing is a massive part of the becoming. So, those of us that are fighting that and resisting that, asking for it, asking to be better, asking to be stronger, asking to be wiser, asking to be wealthier, asking to be healthier, but doing everything but in our regular routines, no spiritual routines, no spiritual activation, we are becoming backwards. And I don't want that. You were born to become. Let's get it on and popping. Yes, every single thing you're dealing with, every single thing you've been faced with, it's a part of that process. What is it doing for you though? If all you have is complaints and fears, you are wasting your ability to become. If all you have is pitfalls and excuses, you are wasting your extremely divine ability of spiritual evolution that is definitely going to take you to the levels that you were born to be on. So let's keep it moving. I know it's tough. I know it's different. I know it's a lot. But your becoming is conditioned just for you. Stay your course, keep your head up, and it keep it coming. Keep it coming. Soon as you feel like giving up, soon as you're ready to break down, cry and walk in the rain, listen, keep it coming. It is very becoming for you to be becoming. It's working for you. It's none of this is meant to work against you. It's working for you. As long as you are true to the becoming process. Now, again, like I said, if you're avoiding it, you're sabotaging it, you're destroying it, you're running from it, all you want, is the Netflix and chill. All you want to do is to get off at 4:30 and put your feet up somewhere and do it again tomorrow. But you are constantly neglecting your spiritual needs. Then the becoming process is just going to, again, the opposite side of the becoming process is not becoming. Either you're living or dying. That's the thing with natural life. It's living or it's dying. So you're growing, you're hitting the milestones spiritually, you're reaching destinations, you are transforming through process, or you are decaying and deteriorating. One or the other. One of those is happening. It's up to you. I'm just the messenger in your moment. And I love you so very much. So thank you for joining me for a Saturday moment, a long Saturday moment at that. Y'all hear the voice changing. Your girl got to go to bed. She's 40 now. But thank you for joining me for, I think, our first ever Saturday moment, Saturday night moment. I'm super excited about that. I'll see you next Saturday for a brand new season, mini series. This is season. I've been watching too much TV. A brand new mini series on showering ourselves. So we're going to be showering ourselves with love. We're going to be showering ourselves with affection, protection, forgiveness. We're going to be showering ourselves. So we're getting into that next week. Thank you so much for your Mommy Mercy tonight on this Moment of Harmony. I'll be seeing you next week for another Moment of Harmony. Hey, go ahead, take really good care of yourself. Go and do some really good things. The weather was amazing today. So take really, really good care of yourself. Take your time, slow it down, lean in, all the good stuff. Take really good care of yourself. And then, after you've done all you can for your beautiful, amazing self, that's my daughter's name, go on out there and take really good care of someone else. I love you all so much, and I'll see you next week for another Moment of Harmony.